I stopped mentally going to church when I was probably about 10. I didn't go to church whatsoever except on, for those who were getting married or, significant holidays. I kind of would go for other people to be present and acknowledge it, but I wasn't really looking for a church, to be honest with you, which makes kind of my journey to Catalyst a little important to me because
Sure.
I hadn't been looking. I felt guilty every Sunday for not being in church, but at the same time I couldn't move forward and figure out what was the right church for me. My life the last couple of years has been an absolute roller coaster. More lows than highs, I would say, but during the lows I learned to appreciate some of the steadier things in my life, which were my family and my friends. And, I don't think I was really focused on God. I was very selfish and focused on me and what I was going through and how I was going to get out of it, basically. Had to come to terms with a lot of choices that I made, and probably the hardest part was admitting that I was wrong. Well, I came to Catalyst, and it may not seem significant, but I, received a mailing. And it was significant to me because only a couple days before the thought had crossed my mind, why not join a church? And that was a strange thought for me to have because I'd been away from the church for so long. So I got an invite card, and what really stuck out to me was the phrase, what if? And I started thinking, well, really, what if I wanted to go to church? Boy, that would be a novel idea. And, what if I wanted to hear the message? And, what if there was a bigger meaning to my life? And so, I also challenge myself to say, what if you just give it a try? I'm not really one to try new things. So I came to Catalyst, and I really, from day one, really enjoyed it, enjoyed the people, loved hearing the message again. It was very much like coming home.
Oh.
It was, I guess the best way I could describe it is, having a room with a beautiful view and having this dirty, foggy window, and then someday somebody comes along and clears off that window, and you realize, oh my gosh, this view is magnificent. What was I doing all this time? So, since that time, Jesus has worked his way into my life, and I'll be honest and say that life hasn't gotten any easier, but it's sure gotten a lot easier to cope with and to realize that the things that I do day to day aren't necessarily the important pieces of my life, and the small struggles that I have don't mean that I shouldn't still be focused outwardly on others, focused inwardly, asking for help, asking for forgiveness, but focused outwardly on being able to help those around me. That life isn't an excuse to withdraw from